and she has elected to share the story of a loss, which is the result of the disenfranchisement of the Kurdish people.
This is in memory of my martyred brother, who was killed on April 23rd, 1983 in the city of Bana by the men of the Islamic Republic of Iran. He was 25 at that time. Grief never leaves, and it is most present on the anniversary of our loss. In this autobiographical piece, we meet the author, Nahia Khoshkhal, whose life was forever changed by the death of her beloved brother. In Fuchsia Flower of My Brother, we see how the author struggles to grasp how life and death can be only 1 second apart, as she grieves through a traumatic event that will stay with her for the rest of her life. I'm going to talk about one moment in time. I have been thinking about how to define myself. I am from a country where I was treated as a second-class citizen. Certain decisions were already made for me. How I should live, how I would grow up, and how I would die. From here on, I will give myself to a thought. And slowly I will come back to my beautiful brother. I see the gravestone on top of the Salamanbag mountain where a tree is bent over your grave with sorrow. It's as if the tree bows in honor of your revolutionary and hopeful soul. My eyes are the sun rays passing through the branches above me. And through the soil sitting on your grave. I step towards you very calmly and count every step I take in this agonizing place where the soil shelters a young heart. I would have liked you to be here and alive so that I could put my head on your shoulder and cry my heart out. Instead, I close my eyes. I take a step on your faded memories, and I put my head on your shoulder to cry my heart out in a thought that lives forever. Now, they have asked me to talk about my memories with you, but all I can think of is that the years we lived without you were much longer than the ones we lived with you. I remember the yellow sky right before sunset on a spring day when we welcomed a new life. One was cleaning the house, one was fixing the curtain, and one was preparing tea and dessert for the ceremony. I remember Father had even asked you to invite the Friday's imam and to tell him that it was the night to wed. It was not long before, instead of throwing a party for your wedding, we heard news that you had been arrested. For a moment, we were all quiet. A sickening silence crushed us. We all just sat down where we were, and all the laughter disappeared from our lips. Happiness was a bird that took flight and disappeared into an endless sky. Now, this is not the first time my brother Nasid has been arrested, and yet I don't know why this time felt different. My brother Nasid would always say, the greatness of everything is that it happens at the wrong time. And it was true. The wrong timing of your arrest meant that your death became an event entrenched in our memory and that of everyone else in the city. How strange the sorrow that proliferates this country is that the distance between mourning and laughter is so short. It is an instant. In spite of everything, we still give each other hope. And we said, it's nothing. It's like all the other times he was arrested. Of course this time we'll set him free. But 9 months passed. 9 months of waiting and longing and, well, misery. It was not until another spring day when my sister and I were at school and the teachers asked us to go home. We thought it was odd. Why do we have to go home? What had happened? On our way home, we noticed that the same people whom we used to pass and whom we greeted every day turned their heads when they saw us. I asked my sister, what do you think has happened? Why are those people turning away from us and not saying hello? Well, at this point, we did not know that they turned away from us so that we wouldn't see their tears. When I saw our home from a distance, soldiers were guarding the house from the yards and the roof. When we saw this, we were devastated and the color on our faces drained away. What had happened? When we got nearer, the spring breeze brought a howling sound, and recognizing it was difficult, but the voice was my mother. And since that day, I look in every culture to find a word or a sentence to describe that moment. But believe me, there is nothing in this world that can describe the feeling of a mother who has lost her child. This was the moment that I did not know the difference between life and death. Because of the armed men of the Islamic Republic of Iran, we held a funeral instead of throwing a party. In this way, we gathered around my brother's fiancée, and we tried really hard to be strong for our brother, whose will it was to not let the enemy rejoice in our grief. But really, what an unfair wish. Was it possible to pretend it just didn't happen? Was it possible when we saw our mother hug your body as if it were only a baby? But you were only a body drowning in your own blood. To this day, I hate the spring because of those bullets and the spring flowers we left on your grave. Your life was as short as the life of a flower. My beautiful revolutionary brother. This is my story. This is our story and the story of thousands of other families like ours. This is why, since the day you left this life, sorrow